Hello, I'm Ryan F9 and this is a crash test of a pro-level racing boot, the Sidi Vortice. Now I know that a lot of you spent $600 hard-earned dollars to buy a pair of these, so don't worry, I'm gonna go easy on them. Nah, I'm just kidding. Of course, we're gonna savagely destroy the Vortices just like usual. Fortnite's 9 tests are absolutely sure to rip these things apart. But first, waterproofing. So the Vortice is made from Lorica. It's a type of synthetic leather that's more water resistant than a real cow. But alas, the Italians also designed this boot like Mr. Potato Head. Every piece here is removable, interchangeable, replaceable, and that means there are a lot of screws for water to leak in through. I also get a couple air vents here on the midfoot and then one up front on the toe. I'm not sure that these are actually watertight even when they're shut. And then I have exhaust slits back here that have all the water resistance of a sieve. But who knows? I mean, maybe the Vortice is going to handle Seaworld better than I think. Nope, instantly wet. Oh, very, very wet. Ooh, it's cold. Okay, so that would be a legendary failure. I mean, our benchmark average for waterproofing is like 2 minutes, and my foot is soaked in like 2 seconds. Legendary failure for waterproofing. But before we leave the aquatic test behind, our Vortice is going to have a chance to redeem itself. Motorcycle boots need to grip on wet and oily surfaces like a rainy public road. And so to test sole traction, we're creating a similar situation over in Seaworld. So thanks to the magic of cooking spray, we are now ready to run our sole traction relay. I need to get all 3 tires over to the other side of Slippery Street as fast as possible. And of course they get heavier and heavier as I go, making it more difficult to set a good time. Anything under 15 seconds gets a passing grade in terms of sole traction. As far as what Sidi is giving us, we have their Racing SRS sole. It's a mix of polyurethane and rubber. It's pretty stiff, it's made for really rigid shifting, quick braking, a really sturdy interface with serrated foot pegs. I don't think it's soft and grippy enough to actually give me enough traction here to pass this test, especially considering that they cut out a large portion of the surface area at the heel. Not the best place to advertise, Sidi. So it took me a pitiful 22 seconds to complete the ridiculous relay, meaning that the Vortice absolutely fails for sole traction. Hopefully, it does better for puncture strength. Which, of course, brings us to Rambos corner. Our plan of attack involves pointed penetrating pellets, shot at 500 feet per second at a point-blank range. Your average leather boot takes 2 shots to break through, but of course, Sidi claims that their synthetic leather has a better cutting strength than the genuine stuff. We'll see about that. It might have gone through in 1 shot, actually. This would be bad if it goes through in 1 shot, because that is not what they advertise. You can see the orange casing there, whether or not it's separated from the bullet. Yeah, it did, so the bullet's probably deeper in there. Well, Sidi, it seems that Lorica might not have a better puncture strength than genuine leather after all, does it? We're pretty sure this went right the way through. So that's a puncture straight through in 1 shot. So we failed for puncture strength, but I expect abrasion resistance is going to go better for Sidi. You see, these boots have such an extensive exoskeleton that I'll have to grind through the plastic for ages before I even get to the synthetic leather. Of course, Sidi claims that Lorica has a better abrasion resistance than genuine cowhide anyway. I'm not so sure about that anymore. Either way, though, I think I have a long grind ahead of us. At least you're going to get the magic of time lapse. All right, so we finally ground right the way through the boot. It turned out going right through the shifter pad was the path of least resistance. It still took us a full 3 minutes to actually grind through here. I mean, unless you're planning on doing like 2 laps of Laguna Seca right on your feet, you're not really gonna lose any skin with these boots. Passing grade for abrasion resistance and then some. Now, I'm standing at the tee box of Golf Town, which of course means it's time to test impact protection. Now, Sidi Vortice has a toe box like any motorcycle boot, but Sidi also wrapped this fiberglass reinforced nylon slider around the front for a little bit of extra protection. It's time to see if it paid off. We tripped the 100G sticker. Sorry, Sidi, that's going to be a failing grade for toe protection. Now, the heel cup on the Vortice is probably the best I've ever seen. This is a polyurethane shell but it has a softer shock absorbing material on the inside. You can see the red peeking through there. And all this is mounted on a sliding screw, meaning that the entire unit has a few millimeters of room to decelerate. I think this is probably going to pass. Right, so we can see that the polyurethane heel cup kind of did its job. There's the marker that hit it, and the whole thing's kind of disjointed as it sort of moved and as the shock absorbing stuff did its work. So this is looking promising so far. We have to have a look at Brian F9's severed foot in here, of course, to see whether it really passed or not, because we have another one of those 100G stickers inside. So take a look in there. Yeah, so that's a pass. Less than 100 Gs. Very good work, passing grade for heel protection. Next, we're testing the ankle armor, and I'm gonna have to take a mulligan on this one because there are two places I need to hit. First, we're gonna go right into the malleolus plate, which is a hard nylon shell mounted onto not so hard polyurethane for progressive impact absorption. Then we also need to test the torsional strength of this ankle hinge. See, it's designed to allow for regular movements like this, but also to resist those twisting motions that tend to break bones. And so we're gonna hold the boot upright, just like that. We're gonna whack it on the toe and see how much we can make this ankle hinge bend. So from that first hit, we knocked off that nylon malleolus plate, revealing the screw underneath. But other than that, there wasn't really any topical damage. And when I pulled out our sandbag, it didn't actually trigger our 100G sticker. So that's very good for ankle protection. And then that second bit, when we hit it torsionally, you can see that the boot, despite myself putting all my weight on it, the boot itself actually wanted to turn rather than the ankle hinge letting the foot turn away from potentially where my leg would be and therefore breaking my ankle. And so that's also really good for ankle protection. All in all, definitely a passing grade. And if you remember correctly, we also had a passing grade for heel protection. We failed on toe protection though. All around, however, generally fairly good armoring. It's not really surprising since this is a bona fide race-ready CE approved boot. It's bound to be bomb-proof. Is it though? Fireproof. How does Lorica burn after all? Not very well. Looks like a marshmallow. It's nice golden brown, but yeah, that stuff doesn't like to burn very much. That's impressive. It's similar to a leather boot in sort of how it resists the fire. We try this is the polyurethane, sort of the softer stuff here. Polyurethane, again, it's gonna melt, but the heat resistance is pretty good. That's not gonna light on fire. Again, we're getting a lovely marshmallow golden brown, but absolutely no flaming, no sustainable flame anyway. I was curious about these buckles here. Nope. Buckles aren't going to go. These cords are going to, those cords will break straight away, like these ones here. Cord will just break as soon as you put the fire on it, but that's no problem. Get some fire on the inside maybe. Impact foam inside the polyurethane heel cup. Gotta wonder if that'll maybe burn by itself. Come on, baby. And the problem is it's not going to get any oxygen in there with the polyurethane coating, and so the sole, this is rubber and polyurethane mix. It's the Racing SRS sole. All right, so now I'm gonna cheat. We're gonna go to the inside. This is Teflon mesh in here. Maybe we can get this thing to light from the inside. Oh, there we go. Finally a little bit of a sustaining fire. Lorica again though, it's really heat resistant. So I'm impressed, Sidi. This has gone well for you. Despite my hellish fire and brimstone, I've only managed to turn the Vortice into a slightly golden marshmallow. Very good heat resistance, well done, Sidi. This is usually what you see with race level boots. You know, they're meant to be tucked in tight, close quarters with a muffler and engine at race speed. It's a very hot area. They usually survive our burning test fairly well. Now, of course, the ninth of Fortnine's 9 tests is build quality, where we ask the question, what still works? And on here, it turns out quite a lot does. These little dials that ratchet in the boot, you know, we burned the cords right off, but they still ratchet. If there were anything to ratchet, that would be working perfectly. This nylon cap here for the ankle armor, it busted off. It doesn't quite click on properly, but Sidi actually sells this separately, so I could buy another one. The vent here was burned directly, but it still opens and closes, amazing. You know, that's working properly as well. Same with the release button. Around here on the front, we knocked off a piece of the toe slider in the golf test. Fair enough. Over here, the zipper is still gonna work. If we go up top here though, on these clickers, all still work there as well. When we open it up, however, it's going to be totally gutted on the inside because I kind of cheated it and burned it from in there, which is obviously going to make a mess. But in general, I can't fault CD for that. I have to say that a lot of things on here are still working after all of our shenanigans, so well done. And that's going to be a passing grade for build quality. If we're going to tally it up now, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 errors: waterproofing, sole traction, puncture strength, and toe protection. That's going to give our total score of 5 out of 9, which is 55.5%, which is actually a passing grade. So well done. In this case, at least, professional level equipment does give a professional level of protection. But what about not so professional gear? What about the stylish stuff? Are retro helmets as safe as their modern counterparts, or do they sacrifice some safety in the name of fashion? We'll find out next week when we test the cliche hipster favorite, Built Well Gringo. Until then, take care.